You are so close to a major breakthrough. You've put in the work, you can see the finish line, and then out of nowhere, you slam on the brakes. You procrastinate, you pick a fight, you find some creative way to mess it all up. If you've ever felt like there's an invisible force holding you back from the success you know you deserve, you are not imagining it. This isn't about a lack of willpower. It's about a hidden script, a psychological program that was written in your past. Today, we're going to expose that script, and I'll show you exactly how to finally rewrite the ending, the problem. What is self-sabotage, really? So let's get real about what we're talking about. Self-sabotage isn't just a bad habit. It's a pattern of thinking and acting that actively works against your own best interests. It's that bizarre, infuriating feeling of being your own worst enemy, especially when you're on the verge of getting exactly what you want. Does this sound familiar? You spend weeks prepping for a huge presentation at work. You know your stuff cold. The night before, instead of sleeping, you end up scrolling social media until 2 a.m. and show up exhausted and foggy. That's self-sabotage. Or hey, maybe you're in a great new relationship. It's healthy, supportive, loving, everything you said you wanted. But just as it gets serious, you start picking fights over nothing, pulling away emotionally, or stirring up drama. You're pushing away the very connection you crave. Yep, that's self-sabotage too. It even shows up with our health. You want to lose 20 pounds. For 2 solid months, you're a machine. Eating clean, exercising, and the weight is melting off. You're just a few pounds away from your goal. And how do you celebrate? By inhaling an entire pizza and a pint of ice cream, completely derailing your progress and kicking off a guilt spiral. These aren't just random lapses in judgment, they're patterns. The classic signs are chronic procrastination, perfectionism so intense you never actually finish anything, and that relentless inner critic who's always telling you you're not good enough. It's also avoiding big opportunities, refusing to ask for help, or using substances to numb the anxiety of even trying to succeed. At its core, self-sabotage is a conflict. Your conscious mind wants to achieve something, but an unconscious part of you is pulling the emergency brake. And the most maddening part, you often don't see it happening until the damage is done, leaving you asking, why do I keep doing this to myself? The agitation. Uncovering the hidden why. To break this cycle, we have to go deeper than just trying harder. We have to understand why it's happening. And the answer is both complex and surprisingly simple. Self-sabotage is almost always a twisted, misguided attempt at self-protection. What feels like self-destruction today was likely a survival strategy your brain cooked up a long time ago to deal with something tough. Think of your mind as a puppeteer, and these self-sabotaging behaviors are the puppets. The strings are old, unconscious beliefs and fears you might not even know are there. Let's look at those strings. First, your brain is obsessed with what's familiar. It's a survival machine, and to your brain, familiar equals safe. Even if your current life is kind of miserable, it's a known misery. Success, on the other hand, that's brand new territory. A better job, a healthy relationship, a fit body. That all comes with new expectations and new pressures. That uncertainty can be so scary to your subconscious that it will yank you back to the safety of your old life, even if you hate it there. It's a weird phenomenon called psychological homeostasis, your mind trying to keep everything stable at any cost. The second, and maybe the most powerful string, is the set of negative core beliefs we form in childhood. If you grew up with a lot of criticism, neglect, or trauma, you might have internalized beliefs like, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy of love, or I don't deserve to be happy. So as an adult, when you get close to success, it creates this painful internal static called cognitive dissonance. Your conscious mind wants the promotion, but your unconscious belief is screaming, you're not good enough for that. To quiet the noise, your mind might trip you up just to prove that old negative belief is true. Third, there's the truly bizarre fear of success. It sounds ridiculous, but success can be just as scary as failure. It brings more visibility, higher stakes, and the pressure to keep performing. This is a huge trigger for imposter syndrome, that nagging feeling that you're a total fraud and you're about to be exposed. To dodge that anxiety, you might unconsciously torpedo your own work. It feels safer to say, oh, I didn't really try, than to give it your all and still feel like an imposter. Finally, we have what psychologists call repetition compulsion. First flagged by Freud, it's our brain's weird habit of recreating painful situations from the past, almost like it's trying to get a do-over and win this time. If you grew up in a chaotic home, you might find yourself creating drama in your otherwise peaceful adult life. It's not because you enjoy suffering, but because your unconscious is stuck in a loop, trying to fix an old wound by reliving it. Just understanding this stuff is a huge leap. It shifts you from blaming yourself to being aware of yourself. But awareness alone won't fix it. If you're serious about breaking this cycle for good, I've put together a more in-depth program called The Rewired Mind. It's packed with guided journaling, meditations, and advanced techniques to help you heal these root causes. The link is waiting for you in the description below. Now, let's get to the toolkit you can start using today. The solution. The 3-step toolkit to break free for good. Breaking free from self-sabotage isn't about a single magic fix. It's a process of spotting your patterns, challenging the stories behind them, and building a new identity, one deliberate action at a time. Here's a 3-step toolkit to get you there. Step 1. Radical awareness. Become a detective of your own mind. You can't change a pattern you can't see. The first step is to drag your unconscious behaviors out into the open. You need to become a curious, non-judgmental observer of yourself. For the next week, grab a notebook and start a sabotage journal. Anytime you catch yourself procrastinating, picking a fight, or doing anything that undermines your goals, write it down. For each entry, answer these 4 questions. 1. What did I actually do? Example, I scrolled on my phone for 2 hours instead of working on my business plan. Number 2. What was the trigger? What happened right before? An example, I sat down at my desk, looked at the blank page, and felt totally overwhelmed. 3. What feeling was I trying to avoid? This is the golden question. Was it fear of failure, fear of judgment, the discomfort of not being perfect? Or as research is starting to show, maybe it was the fear of not measuring up to others online. Example, I was afraid my plan wouldn't be good enough and I'd feel like an idiot. 4. What was the immediate payoff? What temporary relief did the sabotage give me? E.g., scrolling was easy and instantly distracted me from my anxiety. It does. Mindfulness is your superpower here. Take moments during the day to just check in. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? No judgment. This creates a tiny gap between a trigger and your usual reaction. In that gap, you find your power to choose something different. After a week, you'll see the patterns laid bare, connecting your actions to specific fears. This awareness is the launchpad for all real change. Step 2. Conscious reframing. Challenge and rewrite your inner script. Okay, once you've spotted the patterns, it's time to challenge the BS stories that fuel them. Most self-sabotage is powered by automatic negative thoughts. Your inner critic can be so loud and convincing, you start to believe its voice is the truth. It's time to put that critic on the witness stand. This is a core idea from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which is incredibly effective for this. When you catch a self-sabotaging thought, you have to dispute it. Ask yourself, is this thought 100% true? The thought, I always mess things up, is a classic exaggeration. Have you really messed up every single thing in your entire life? Find the evidence that proves it wrong. Where did I even learn to think this? Often, these aren't your beliefs. They're an echo from a critical parent, a past failure, or an old wound. Seeing where it came from helps you separate it from who you are now. What's a more balanced, compassionate way to look at this? This is the reframe. Let's try one. The old belief, I'm not qualified for this promotion. I'll be exposed as a fraud. The challenge, hold on, is that really true? I have 5 years of experience, my last few projects were successful, and my boss literally encouraged me to apply. A feeling of being a fraud is not the same as the fact of being a fraud. The new empowering reframe, I am capable and I deserve this shot. I have the skills and I'm smart enough to learn what I don't know. It's okay to be nervous, but I'm not letting that feeling drive the car. Write these reframes down. Say them out loud. You are literally forging new pathways in your brain, weakening the old toxic ones and strengthening the new, empowering ones. You're not lying to yourself, you're just finally telling yourself a more accurate and kinder truth. Step 3. Intentional action. Build evidence for a new identity. Self-sabotage keeps you trapped by reinforcing a negative identity. The identity of someone who quits, who isn't worthy, who can't handle success. The only way to shatter that identity is to build a new one with small, concrete actions. Your brain believes what you do far more than what you just tell it. You need to give it proof that you are the person you're choosing to become. The trick is to make your goals laughably small. Huge goals are a trigger for sabotage. Tiny, manageable steps build momentum and confidence. If your goal is writing a book, forget the book. Your action today is, Write for 15 minutes. That's it. If your goal is getting healthy, forget losing 50 pounds. Your action is go for a 10-minute walk after lunch. If your goal is a better relationship, forget finding the one. Your action is when my partner reaches out, I'll respond with kindness instead of my usual defensiveness. Every time you complete one of these micro actions, you are casting a vote for your new identity. You're building a mountain of evidence, and you have to celebrate these tiny wins. Acknowledging your progress, no matter how small, makes you want to do it again. Most importantly, this step requires radical self-compassion. You will mess up, the old programming will pop up. When it does, do not let it drag you into a shame spiral. That's just more fuel for sabotage. Treat yourself with kindness. Acknowledge the slip-up, get curious about what triggered it, and gently guide yourself back to the new path. Self-compassion is a far more powerful motivator than self-criticism will ever be. The cycle of self-sabotage can feel like you're trapped in a prison where you are also the warden. But as we've seen, it's not a character flaw. It's an old, outdated protection program that's running on a loop. The good news is, you are the programmer now. You get to write the code. By using this toolkit, by becoming aware, by reframing your stories, and by taking small, intentional actions, you take the pen back. You can stop being the puppet and become the puppeteer. You have the power to consciously design habits that serve the life you actually want to live. This isn't about one giant leap. It's about the small, steady choices you make every single day. If you want to change your life, you have to take action. And the time to start is now. You are definitely not alone in this. So many of us are fighting our own version of this battle. Let's build a community of support right here. In the comments below, share one pattern of self-sabotage you've recognized in your life. What was your aha moment from this video? Reading what everyone else is going through can be incredibly validating. And if this video helped you, please subscribe and share it with someone you think might need to hear this today. Thank you so much for watching.